And today we're going to pull off this flywheel cover, remove the flywheel, and we're going to have a look at our starter clutch. Well, that's the plan anyway. I've never done it before, so I'm not even sure if I can do it.
You watching Kodokuna Raida YouTube channel. Watching. Tonight, we will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Before we start to pull off this flywheel cover here, or crankcase cover, we've got to drain the oil, and then we'll start pulling it all apart. Oh, the oil's black. Black as black, but remember it's been in there for at least 15 years. Oh, it's dirty. So what we want to do next is take off our footrest and our gear change lever here, which will allow us to pull this all off. So there we have our gear change lever set up half. And before we put it back, we'll clean all this rust and put some grease on it, make sure it all operates properly. But now we've got that off, we're ready to pull our cover off now because we've drained our oil. So we know oil's not going to drip out everywhere. So we've got to take these bolts out. Now, these bolts are a different length. So what you need to do is just get a bit of cardboard and draw a rough shape of it and put some holes. I'll show you so you won't get your bolts mixed up. So when you put it back together, it'll be really easy for you. Okay, so I've just drawn a little picture here. I'm not sure how many bolts will be around the bottom yet, but I've just drawn a little picture. As I pull the bolts out, I'll put them in these holes here. And so when I put it back in, it's very easy. I just pull one bolt out and put it in the same place. You won't get them mixed up. So let's pull it all apart.
But there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Okay, so I've undone all the bolts around this rear plate and the crankcase there. I've put them all in the plate there, so I know exactly where they come out. Now, why I've got to take this rear one off is because the wires from the stator come up underneath here, and you just can't quite get them out. So it's easy just to pull this plate off. So there it goes. Just gently touched it. You saw I was hardly touching it. Here it comes. There we go. Great. Oh, these gaskets are hard in here. But I've got a new gasket here. We'll replace all these, so don't worry. Now we can see that our wires come down here. So we'll undo these clips the best that we can. And like I said, if we can't get them off, we're just going to have to cut them and then put new cable ties when we put it back together. Okay. So there we go. Our clips came apart. Beautiful. No problems. So that's our wire going here. So we're ready to pull our crankcase cover or our stator cover or our flywheel cover, whatever you want to call it, off. Now, when we remove this, we have to be careful because the magneto setup in these has a big magnet, so it'll be trying to pull it in, and you've also got two gears here, so when you pull it apart it could all drop out on you. The two gears and the magnet from the stator will be trying to hurt you a little bit, so don't worry, just be gentle, pull it out gentle and everything will be okay. So let's pull it out. Here it comes. I'm only touching it very gentle and it's already loosened up. We're leaking a little bit of oil. I can already feel the magnets pulling on me. Oh, there's my gears there. So that's holding now. pulling back from the magnets. Can you see that? The magnets, so you've got to pull it off. There's nothing holding it on except the magnets. Just slide those gears back in. Oh, here it comes. I dropped one of the gears. Here it comes. Woo! Look at that. So there's our stator in there. And here's our flywheel. This is what we're going to pull off. But this is our stator to pull off and change over when the new one comes. But to get to our clutch, we've got to pull this one off here. Oops. Okay, so here's where we pulled our cover off. This is our flywheel here and this is how you know whether your starter clutch has let go. So you've got 3 bolts. You see here's one. Oh, the magnet's got it. Look at that. See the magnet? He's holding that on. There's one. There's one there. And there's one over here. Now they've been paned over. You see in these bolts here, there's a little dent in the side. So what they do, after they put the bolts in, with a little drift and a hammer, they thump it to stop it so the bolt doesn't fly out inside your engine. So you remember hearing the noise. So this is what happens. See in this bolt here, I hope I can show you all right. Maybe this one is easier to show you. But I can turn it. Can you see? Can you see the bolts moving? I'm sorry, it might be hard to see. I'm trying to get it in there so you can see.
But these bolts here are loose.
The 3 bolts are loose. So what we've got to do is undo this big bolt here, pull the flywheel off so that we can put some new bolts in there and tighten it down, as long as our clutch is okay. So it's just new bolts, pane them over and put it all back together. So let's undo this big bolt now and then we'll... Okay, I've got the impact wrench, so let's try and undo this thing. Okay, so this is just there we go. Okay, so what I've done now is got some stainless steel bolts put down into the flywheel, and I've got my pulley here, and I've made sure that they go all the way through. I've tried to use really good bolts. Now I'm going to just try and put some tension on here slowly and see if we can pull this flywheel off. Whoa! And there she comes. That was easy. Look at that. Oh, that's a little bit heavy. And there we are. There's our flywheel. Now, we're going to slip this off. Let me undo these bolts here so I can sit it flat, and we'll find out exactly why our clutch was slipping. Okay, so let's have a look. So you might have noticed that I put a little cable tie in here to hold it all together when I pulled it apart. So we'll just cut that off now. Pull that out. Here's our 3 bolts, and look, I'm just spinning them. Look at that. And that is why we make the noise. So let's Look at that. I can just take them out with a screwdriver. I don't even need the proper spanner. Well, that one's a little bit tighter. So here's one of the bolts. Oh, look. It's all damaged around the end there. Hope you can see. Where they paint the end over to try and stop the bolt from coming out. So let me get a spanner and we'll pull these out. We'll have a look to see if our clutch is okay. So now our clutch will come apart. Oh, they fell apart. That's okay. You can see here where it's been moving around. Scratch there. This part is okay. You can see where the bolts have come loose and damaged it here a little bit. Look, a little bit of damage there. But it's no cracks or anything. I'll just get a bit of rag. Okay, so it looks okay, but then look. Can you see here? Now, what I think it is, where the spring goes, one of these springs has gone through. You've got your 3 springs that put your tension here. It has come through and torn apart in there. Look at that. Wow. So I'm going to check this out, but it looks like I might have to buy a new clutch. They're not expensive, so it doesn't matter. But that's not good at all. Look at that. Hand it to you. So we'll end this one here, and in the second part, we'll have the new parts and put it all back together. Thanks very much for watching. I'm really enjoying doing this rebuild, and this is really interesting stuff. Thanks a lot. Always remember, drive like you know each other, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around.
Thank you.
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 Thank you.